Advice and opinions expressed during the program is solely that of the folks at Jung Garden Center, not WBEV, WXRO, or Good Karma Brands. With us for his final show of the spring session, we welcome in Dick Zondag from Jung Garden Center. Good morning, Dick.
Good morning.
And we know that you are on TV as well as radio. Did you bring anything along for our viewers on Daily Dodge TV?
Yeah, the ad just talked about the colorful hanging baskets, and I brought just one because I wouldn't have room for more than one on the table here. And then I've also brought along one of the knockout roses that's in full bloom. And boy, they sure give you a lot of color over the summertime because they blossom in fruit. They blossom on new wood. And every time you get a flush of growth, you get a new set of flowers. And so when the first set is done, you just cut them back so that you get the hips off, and you cut them back to the first 5-leaflet leaf, and they throw another bud out, and they're in blossom again within a couple of weeks. So knockout roses are really a knockout. The one that I had in my old house, I had for probably 30 years, and finally succumbed one of the bad years when most of the roses died, but they last forever. You don't have to cover them because they're hardy, and you just cut them back a little bit in the springtime. You take all the dead wood out, and you fertilize them, and away they go, and you have color all summer long in your yard.
Would you have been able to take that plant and transfer it to your new home and put it in?
If it was alive, I would have, yeah. But it was really it was one of the original knockout roses, one that we got as a sort of a sample before they came out, and yeah, it just was a blooming idiot, and it just, like the one I've got in the studio here, it's just a beautiful, dark red color, and it keeps color all summer long. And beside that, we have all the perennials and the shrubs in the nursery yard. Lots of perennials in gallons and quarts, and annuals that give you color all summer long. The perennials tend to be either spring, summer, or fall blooming. They don't bloom all summer long, but annuals have to go from seed to seed in 1 year, and so they keep the color coming in your yard. And so with my yard, I mix both the perennials with the annuals, because when the perennials are in bloom, they're really pretty and very showy, but then through the summer and spring, if they're not in flower, the annuals will take up that slack, and they'll really look nice.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. They're called annuals because they usually have one growing season, but you can, with care, have them grow the following year, correct?
No.
Oh, you cannot?
No.
Okay.
The annual is defined
Strictly
as a plant that goes from seed to seed in 1 year.
Okay.
And so like petunias, like the basket I've got here is one of the hybrid petunias, and it looks nice all winter long, but all summer long. But when it comes fall, the leaves start to turn yellow, and by then, if you haven't cut it back, it will probably have seed. But what I do with my annuals is when they start to look a little ratty, I cut them back, and they throw in a flush of growth, which will have new flowers, because you cut the flowers off, the plant says to itself, I got to get seed before winter comes, and they throw out another flush of growth, and they get another set of flowers. And so annuals stay in color pretty much all summer long, but they have to be replanted every year, where perennials are the ones that you plant and they come back year after year. But like I said, the perennials, these seem to have one season of bloom. They either bloom in the spring, or summer, or like the chrysanthemums in the fall, and then they die back. But they die back to the ground, but they come up from the ground and come back year after year if you take care of them properly.
You mentioned blooming idiot. A lot of people call me that. I didn't know if you knew that.
I get that once in a while, too.
We do have our first caller, 885-4446, 1-920-885-4446. If you have a question or a comment for Dick Zondag from Jung Garden Center in Randolph in his final show for the spring session of The Garden Doctor. And you are on the air with Dick. Go right ahead.
All righty. Thank you very much. Good morning, Dick.
Good morning.
I have a dilemma. I have a gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful tree peony in my front yard.
Okay.
I bought it in your establishment over 20-some years ago, and
Wow.
it gets better every year, and it's like a showstopper.
Right.
But now my neighbors tell me they can't get out of their driveway because it's too big and it needs to be removed.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yes.
If they can wait until fall, that would probably be the best. Maybe what you'd want to do is go around the outside, because it's such an old plant, the roots have really grown out quite a ways. If they'll allow you to keep it all summer long, what I would say is go around the plant right now with a spade shovel and put it in the ground as far down as you can where you're going to dig the plant out so that it grows some new roots inside where that root ball is going to be. And then when the plant starts to go downhill a little bit in the fall or in the early fall, then dig around where you cut the roots and try to take as much soil as possible, because they're a little bit touchier than the herbaceous perennial peonies that blossom in June. They're a little bit harder to move. So if you can cut some of those roots that are farther out, and then you'll get newer roots inside that root ball, and then try to take as much of the soil as you can with it when you move it.
Okay, so another question. If I don't want to remove that, is there any way that I could go like down the middle and kind of lay some chicken wire and try to establish it to go flatter and go out more?
You can cut it back, yeah. You can train it a little bit. A tree peony is sort of a woody plant. It's not like the herbaceous peonies that die back to the ground. They keep some of their stems alive through the winter and stuff. And so you can trim it back as soon as it's done flowering, if that would help.
Because, I mean, I get compliments on it. I mean, right now it's just starting to bloom, and it's the blooms on it are bigger than a paper plate. It's pretty enormous.
They are very pretty, that's for sure. Yeah, they can be pruned back right after they blossom.
Okay, well, maybe I can just keep it shorter, then they won't be bothered by it.
Yeah, that would work too.
you have any experience in law enforcement, Dick? That you can offer?
Not on the law enforcement side. On the other side,
There
maybe.
we go. Okay, well, thank you very much for your call.
Thank you. Have a marvelous day.
You as well.
Yeah. On the way to the Garden Doctor show once in a while, if they're in the wrong spot, I'm on the other side of the law.
It should be the Garden Sheriff Show.
Yeah.
There we go. 885-444-6192. 885-4446 is the number to call to get on the air with Dick Zondag. How are we on lawn maintenance now, Dick?
Well, this rain that we're getting now is going to help a lot, but you can still fertilize the lawn. And if you've got dandelions in your lawn, now is the best time to take care of them. And Creeping Charlie also. And Weed Beater Ultra is actually the best broadleaf weed killer you can use, because you can use it when it's cool like now. Some of the other preparations tend not to work as well when it's cold outside, but Weed Beater Ultra can be used when the temperature is down as low as 55 degrees, and it still does a very good job on dandelions and on Creeping Charlie and plantain lily, anything that's broadleaf, and it doesn't hurt the grass at all. And so getting it on right now will help control the dandelions. I know we had some dandelions. We kept cutting them off, but we're going to get that treated with the Weed Beater Ultra so that it takes the dandelions out, because they're pretty, that pretty yellow flower, but they do produce a lot of seed and can stay in the soil for years if you don't treat them and keep the population down. I know I had a lot of them in my strawberries that I've been trying to keep out. I don't use Weed Beater Ultra in my strawberries because it would control the strawberries too. I guess I'd go in and take those out by hand. But in the lawn, you can do it with that pesticide, the herbicide.
You ever make dandelion wine?
I have not, but I've known people that have. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go to the phones. Good morning. You are on the Garden Doctor.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I have a couple things. Milkweeds. Last year they came, which is wonderful for butterflies. I never
Yep.
had a butterfly. What goes on with those businesses? Now my whole yard is full of milkweed, and I really don't like the way they look.
Yeah, yeah, they seed pretty heavily. You know, the pods come in the fall, and the pods open up, and the seed is carried on the wind because they have a little sail on them that takes them out. So, I guess if they're in your lawn or something like that, you can keep mowing them, and that'll take them out. Or if they're in a bed, you'll just have to pull them out. But yeah, they are very attractive for monarchs and other butterflies. They really love those flowers when they're there. But then when they form the pods, the seeds can be pretty spreading.
I was just disappointed. I didn't get any butterflies. I thought, wow,
Oh,
I
you
left them
didn't?
because they're my perennials. No, I didn't get any.
Oh,
And someone
well,
said maybe it's because the monarch, they had that big frost and it killed a bunch of them, and maybe that's the reason. So I'm thinking, okay, because they're in my perennial garden, and I don't like the way it looks. And my perennial garden looks kind of crummy, you know?
Yeah, well,
So-
you can remove them by digging them out. That's for sure.
Okay. Next question. Quite a few years ago, actually, probably about 7 or 8 years ago, someone was nice enough to make tree rings around my a brickwork tree rings around
Sure.
my maple trees,
Okay.
and I planted flowers. And then I read an article, because every year when I plant flowers out there, I run into so many roots. Is that unhealthy for those maple trees? The maple trees are probably about 23 years old, 25 years old.
It's not
Is there an issue at all
Yeah,
having
it's
that?
not unhealthy. The tree roots do have a certain air soil relationship that they seek out, and with maple trees they have a very shallow root system, and so by putting a planter around the base of a maple tree, the roots will kind of sense that there's more soil on top, and they do tend to grow up into that planter. Not going to hurt them too much to remove the roots when you're planting the planter, but they do tend to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just, when
Okay, I
you're
was
working it
concerned
up,
about the
just you
tree.
can take a pruning shears and just prune some of the roots out of there.
Okay, I was concerned about the trees. It does not hurt the tree.
No, it won't hurt the tree. There's plenty of
Okay.
roots down
Okay, I
deeper
love-
for them.
Because I love the plant. I love planting plants, and
Sure.
I thought, I better check into this and talk to you. So
Yeah, no,
fantastic! I got some more planting to do. I'll see you out there in the store.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and that's why he's here to answer your garden-related questions. 885-4446, 1-920-885-4446, the number to call. We got a couple of plum trees as a gift. They're about 5 feet tall. They did survive the transplanting. What kind of growth would we expect from that, Dick, throughout the summer? Do they just keep forming new branches, or what?
Yep, plums actually are pretty fast growers, and so
I think it's a cherry plum tree. Does that make
okay, it's probably one of the oriental plums then. Just remember that the branches on that tree are not going to be any higher than they are right now once they get 2 inches below the top of the tree. So if the branches are too low, you should take some of them off and fertilize them too, because how long have they been in there, John?
about a month?
Oh, okay, so they're brand new.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. So, put some fertilizer there to get them off to a good start. And then what I would do is just let them grow this year. Don't do much pruning on them, because
Okay.
the more leaves you have on those trees, the better it will establish. But then next spring or the following spring, once they get to be a pencil diameter or maybe even a little bit bigger than that, you should start taking the lower ones off, because you're going to be mowing the lawn underneath them,
Right.
and you don't want to be hitting the tree with your lawnmower.
Right. Right.
So
How tall do they get?
I would say probably 18 to 25 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're going to be a small to medium-sized tree,
All right.
and
Great.
yeah, they'll blossom at this time in the year, and then they'll have fruit probably in mid to late August.
Okay. Do you get fruit the first year?
No,
I
you
was gonna
shouldn't. If
say,
you get fruit, you should pick it off because you want the first couple of years to establish the tree.
Okay.
You don't want, because a plant will tend to naturally throw everything it has into the seed that it's producing, and the plums are producing. Those trees are not producing plums for John Kraft. They're producing plums to make more seeds to spread themselves.
Oh, okay.
And so if you let them do that, they'll throw everything they have into their reproductive structures, and to the detriment of getting that tree established. So sometimes they'll blossom and not set fruit, and so that's not a problem. But I would say the first 2 years should go into the establishing of the tree and the growth of the tree, and then after that, you just let them do their thing.
Okay. Well, let's go back to the phones. One line is open, 885-4446. Good morning and welcome to the Garden Doctor program.
Yeah, good morning. Got a question for you.
Sure.
We have a big pink crabapple tree.
Okay.
It's got the pink blossoms on it.
Right.
And we've lived here 43 years. This year, they turned white. We didn't get pink, we got white. Any idea what's going on?
Sometimes they'll come out pink and then they fade to white. Yeah, usually the genetics of the tree dictate the color of the blossoms, and it's very seldom that they will change. It could be that they had a little bit of winter injury.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
normally a tree will not change color.
Yeah, it's weird. Never seen it.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, 43 years we lived here, and it's first year.
Yeah, no,
And the neighbors actually did the same thing.
I don't know. It could be that there was some
Winter.
cold damage when the buds were coming out that might have changed the color a little bit. But usually, pink flowering crab will go from pink and then it'll fade to sort of a pinkish white. But to come out completely white, that's probably we've had a really cold spring, and so that might be it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for your call. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
885-4446-1920. 885-4446, the number to get on to the Garden Doctor. And again, now is a good time to call because a lot of times we have to turn away callers near the end of the show. So if you got a question or comment for Dick, ring us up. Let's go to the phones. You're on the air with Dick Zondag, the Garden Doctor from Jung Garden Center.
Well, thank you very much. I just heard the gentleman say that his blossoms came in white on his mock orange, or mock crab.
On his crab tree. Yep.
Yeah, let me turn down mine did the same thing this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we have an epidemic here now.
Well, I don't know.
Like I said, it might have been that we've had this cold weather and that the pink, that the red anthocyanins that create the pink got zapped by the cold weather or something.
Oh, okay. A second question for you. I had hydrangeas planted behind my garage.
Okay.
It gets early morning sun.
Okay.
I get wonderful green plants, but I get no blossoms.
Do you do any trimming on them?
Yes, when like right now, as it's coming up, I break off all the old stuff, and then when they come up, I trim them back a little.
Yeah. See, you might be taking your flower buds off. What you have to do is look at when the plant is dormant. Look at the ends of the stems, and if they have a big fat bud on the end of the stem, that's your flower bud. And so if you're trimming them in early spring or late fall, you're cutting your flowers off. Do you know what kind of a hydrangea it is?
No, I don't. It was a gardener who planted them for me, and I really don't recall it.
Okay, because there are some that blossom on new wood and some that blossom on old wood. So you have to know whether it's a microphylla or an arborescens or a paniculata. The paniculatas bloom on new wood, so they'll bloom, in late summer. But the arborescens and the microphylla are ones that blossom on the wood that grew last summer. And so if you're cutting them back at all, usually the blossoms are on the end of the stems, and you're cutting your flowers off.
Thank you so much, Dick, and have a wonderful rest of the week.
Yeah, and you too.
Thank you very much for your call. 885-4446-1920, 885-4446. Talking about diseases and all that. We have a maple tree that it grows in the summer, but it's almost a bright yellow all summer long, and it collects these little brown spots on the leaves. What is that?
It's probably a bacterial blight that comes in late summer. What I would do, John, is do you fertilize your lawn at all?
No, I don't.
Okay. Fertilize the tree around the drip line of the tree.
Okay.
You could use some lawn fertilizer.
All right.
Just something that has quite a bit of nitrogen in it. And that the drip line of the tree is where the feeder roots are. Okay. And the tree will grow better. And sometimes it's just that their tree is a little bit unhealthy, and it's more susceptible to diseases. If a tree is healthy and growing, a lot of the diseases won't bother it. But when it gets a little malnourished or it's under some stress, that's when the trees tend to get more diseases. And plants get more diseases also.
Is that unusual for a maple to be kind of almost a bright yellow all summer long?
There are varieties of maples that are yellow.
Okay.
It depends on the cultivar that it is. If it's yellow and it's a green variety, it's because it's missing some nitrogen.
Oh, okay.
So, fertilizing it might turn it green.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, good advice there. If anyone else needs some advice, Dick will be gone for the summer in a matter of just a few minutes, so get on the air, 885-4446. And Dick, as always, it's been a pleasure working with you. And
John, we appreciate the use of your airwaves, too, getting out there and giving gardening help, because, if people know how to grow things and know what to do if they have problems, they do better. And if you do better, you come to Jung's more.
That's right.
So.
How long have you been doing this show? How far back do you go?
I came back from Cornell University in 1972, and my dad was doing the show at that time, but it was very shortly after that. So it was, I think, 75 or 76 when I first started doing this program, and so it's been a long time.
You went to Cornell University as in Ivy League, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I got my master's degree at Cornell University. I got my undergraduate degree at the University of Wisconsin in Madison.
Oh, okay.
I spent a couple of years in Michigan at Hope College, so I had a little bit of different types of education.
Very neat. Well, the diverse education you had shows in your answers to questions. You know it all.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the phones. We got time for at least one more caller. Go ahead. You're on the air with Dick Zondag.
Yes, I've got some several pine trees that are really old, and we're using it underneath them for a fire pit and kind of a meeting area and stuff. Are the pine tree, they're having a tough time.
Yeah.
Is it because of you mentioned a while back that maple have a real shallow root system? Is that part of the pine trees also?
It could be that too. Having a fire pit right on your root system doesn't help things at all. What I'd recommend doing is with pine trees, any kind of evergreen, we have a fertilizer called muracid. It's a fertilizer that has the nutrients in that the evergreens have a hard time taking up. And so if you get some of this muracid and you put it, it's one that's soluble in water. You put it in water and depending on how high the tree is, put it at the drip line. Just take a 5-gallon bucket and put some of that fertilizer on the ground at the drip line of the tree. That will give them the nutrients that they need to grow and to look better.
Okay.
And
that, I wonder part of it too. It's been so dry that I wonder if that's part of it. That it's,
well, the weather that we've had has been not the best for plants. Didn't have any roses outside. I'm planting roses for the first time at my new house, so I don't know how the roses came through. But it was generally a reasonable winter this winter. So, fertilize it with a fertilizer that has the iron and manganese in it, and that should help with the health of the tree. Maybe 2 or 3 times this summer. That'll give them some extra nutrients to work with.
Okay, good. And the drip line, that's just the outside of the tree?
Yeah, if your tree was an umbrella and the water was coming off the tree, that's where the drip line of the tree is.
Yep, good. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks
Enjoy
for
the
calling.
program.
Thank you very much for your call. We are out of time. And once again, Dick, tell us what is happening at Jung Garden Center.
Well, we still have a lot of good stuff to sell, annuals, perennials, the hanging baskets. I was out in the greenhouse to pick out one to bring along, and we're just a lot of different baskets for sunshade and everything in between. And potted roses, we've got a lot of beautiful potted roses if you want some color in your lawn, or if you want some that you can pick and bring in the hybrid teas or what you want. We've got the fertilizer for your lawns. You can still fertilize the lawns with this cool weather, and definitely go after the dandelions if you've got dandelions, and cut down that population with the Weed Beater Ultra. And we've got good people in the garden centers that can help you with things. So if you bring something in, they can help you, and if they don't, I'm usually around the store. They can call me in, and I will help try to find out what the problem is. And so we value our customers in this area, and we try to have great products and good information so they can have a great-looking lawn and home landscape.
All right. And what are the hours of your business?
Okay, the hours in Randolph are 8 to 5 Monday through Saturday, or 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 on Saturday, and of course Randolph is not open on Sundays. The other garden centers are 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 on Saturday, and 10 to 4 on Sunday.
All right. Well, Dick, as always, it's been a pleasure having you impart your knowledge.
Well, it's been great talking with you, John, and the people out in the Beaverland area. And, good luck to everybody, and I hope they have a successful summer with a great garden. And, I planted my garden last weekend, and,
right.
Some of the beans and things are peeking out of the ground already. So, it should be a great summer for a garden.
Yes, indeed. Here's to a good growing summer, and hopefully we'll see you in the fall, sir.
Very good. Thanks, John.
And that is The Garden Doctor with Dick Zondag, the final show. And the preceding program was a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed during the program were solely that of Jung Garden Center, not WBEV 95X or Good Karma Brands.